My name is Ebuka. I am from a small village in Anambra State, Nigeria. I don't tell this story often. People think I'm crazy. But I know what I heard, and I know what I saw. It happened a few years ago, when I was working with a group that restores old ancestral sites. We were clearing the land around one of the oldest shrines in our village. The elders said it was over 200 years old. No one had touched that place in decades. Bush had covered everything. You could barely see the stones marking the boundary. We had been walking all day when I heard it, a soft sound, like someone crying. At first, I thought it was the wind. But the more I listened, the clearer it got. A woman. Weeping. The kind of crying that comes from pain. Deep pain. I told the others, but they laughed. Said maybe I needed water or rest. But I knew what I heard. So after work, I came back alone. It was nearly dark. The air felt heavy. The shrine had always been a quiet place, but that day it felt off. I walked toward the spot where I heard the crying. There was a flat stone there, half covered in dirt and moss. Then I heard it again. Please, help me. I jumped back. I nearly ran, but something made me stay. My hands were shaking, but I started digging near the stone. Not deep. Just enough to clear some of the dirt around it. That's when I found the old bones. Human bones. But what stopped my heart was the cloth. It was still there, faded, torn, but you could see it had once been a wrapper. And there were marks on the bones. Like someone had scratched at the inside of the grave. Like they were trying to get out. I ran. The next day, I went to see Oni, one of the oldest men in our village. He doesn't speak much, but when I told him what I found, he closed his eyes for a long time. Then he said something I will never forget. Her name was Adaku. He told me the story. Over 80 years ago, there was a woman named Adaku. She was beautiful, quiet, and kind. But she was accused of being an Ogbanj, a spirit child who brings death to her family. A young boy had died in the village, and people were scared. They needed someone to blame. They said Adaku used her eyes to kill the boy. That she cursed him. She cried and begged, but they didn't listen. The elders ruled that she should be buried alive, to stop the spirit from harming more people. So they took her to the shrine, the same spot where I heard the crying, and they buried her. Alive. She screamed, Oni said. But no one helped her. Even I. I was just a boy. I washed. I did nothing. He said Adaku's spirit never left. That some people had heard crying there over the years. But they were too afraid to talk. After that, I couldn't sleep. I kept dreaming of her face. I never saw her in real life, but in my dreams, I knew it was her. She would just stare at me. Not angry. Just tired. Sad. I went back one more time. Took candles, kola nuts, and white cloth. I cleaned the grave. Said prayers. Asked for peace. The crying stopped after that. But sometimes, when it rains heavy, and the wind blows through the shrine trees, I still feel something watching. And I remember. Since that night, I've never heard her cry again. The shrine is quiet now. The wind still blows, the trees still shake, but the voice beneath the ground is gone. Maybe Adaku finally found peace. Maybe someone just needed to listen. I still visit the spot sometimes. I don't say much. Just sit and remember. Not every story ends with justice. But sometimes, remembering is the only justice the forgotten will ever get. If you want to hear more true stories like this, stories our ancestors left behind, ones they whispered but never shouted, then don't forget to subscribe to Voice of the Ancestors. We speak for the ones buried by time and silence.